example, someone that has a stroke on on a deathbed in the hospital, for example, right, can go into the metaverse and now he has a leg and he can walk, right? But in the physical world, he's disabled. So that's a positive stuff.
But wouldn't that lead to mental health problems?
No, I mean, now being like the person he can walk, but now in the metaverse, he can walk, he can interact, he can do stuff, he can attend virtual events, and he can do a lot of stuff. I mean, well, technically,
Wouldn't you say that would make him a bit more depressed?
I mean, to be honest, right? I see the final form of the metaverse as our dream. So, for example, think about it, right? When you sleep and you dream about something, you can feel, you can walk. Like you can even eat, you can taste in your dream. But then they are all like simulations coming from your brain, right? And again, coming from the AI space, there's a lot of research going into call it open BCI, that is brain computing interface, where we try to look at putting chips in the person's brain that gets more advanced. But when you get to that point, you'd literally be able to replicate everything you can do in real life in a virtual world. But then you have superpowers. You can jump, you can fly, you can do a lot of stuff.
Sorry, can I just? Sorry, let me just add. I think it is both good and bad. It's technology. We have social media. People use social media for businesses to grow their business, and people use social media for clouds. And social media already causes depression. We all know that. I think the same thing is going to happen to the metaverse. It's not just going to cause depression, it's also going to cause illnesses that we don't yet know how to diagnose. And it's also going to create professionals whose job is to diagnose that as well. So the truth about the matter is that we really don't know what we're getting ourselves into.
All right, thank you. So, as we round up, I'm going to take 30 seconds from each of our panelists. Last word on metaverse, NFTs, AR, VRs, what you have to say. Just 30 seconds each. Yeah, from Mr.
Yes, mental health is very important. So I think once your mental health is okay, you shouldn't have any problem distinguishing the two. At Nifty Roll, we're going to be issuing a DAO token, and I will advise everybody to log in with their MetaMask wallet, do something, update a profile, because we will give out tokens very soon. And it's these tokens
Thank you.
that are going
30
to
seconds.
the loans that artists will be able to use to raise capital.
Thank you.
So watch out for that.
30 seconds.
Okay, under 30 seconds. Right now, there is this talk on can crime be actually be committed in the metaverse? I think last year somebody was complaining, a woman was complaining that a guy actually touched her avatar somehow, and she wants to file she wants to file a complaint and all that. So can a crime be committed inside the metaverse? We don't know yet. It's a developing phase, but what our advice, explore, right? You don't need to be techie. You don't need to have bush hair. You don't need to have glasses and all that before you can explore the blockchain and the metaverse. Go do your thing.
Thank you very much.
Last words. I think we should not be scared of the metaverse. It's going to open opportunities and give us an edge. We as Africans, we're already lacking behind on the technological scale, and this is an opportunity for us to scale up. So let's just go and see what happens.
Awesome. Again, I'm super bullish on the fact that the metaverse is going to be the future, and the earlier you get into it, you actually define that future yourself. Yeah.
I think my panelists deserve a thunderous round of applause. You've done a good job. Thank you very much.
Please, it was a fantastic session. We have a metaverse experience room there. So if some of these things that are being talked about is going somehow over your head, go to that place and experience the metaverse for the first time today. We have VR sets there, and you can do a couple of things when you get there. You can create your own avatar if you want. You can play games. You can go to places. It's there. So that's the point, but not right now. When we are done with the presentation sessions. All right. Um, you say it's not okay. So we'll move to the next. The next thing is supposed to be okay. Escort. Okay, is Escort in the house? Escort, you're here. You're here, right? Put your hands together for the Escort team. Put your hands together for the Escort team. Is your song with them? They're going to give us some, the Escort team have been singing for years, and they are launching their NFT. They have a special lady song title that they are launching on NFT. And we'll have an opportunity to hear them do their act, because it's another way of us to know that some of these things that we're talking about, it's for real. Escort can organize a concert on the metaverse. Actually, Snoop Dogg organized a concert at the metaverse, and it was wow. Attended by over 50,000 people. So it's amazing what you can do. So while the Escort team is trying to get ready, we want to start calling some of our sponsors to come and do their presentations. And I don't know, it's the space. Are you ready for your presentation now? The space. Are you ready for a presentation? Okay, put your hands together for this space as they come forward to do their presentation. Put your hands together for them. Put your hands together for them. Without sponsors, you would have paid handsomely to be here. While the panel was on and they were discussing, it was more like a university education that you were attending. I mean, you were hearing things you've never heard before. Even I was sitting down there, I was saying, wow, what a perfect delivery that we're getting here. Put your hands together for Mr. Martins, who is coming to represent the space protocol. So while he's getting ready, his slides ready, we're also waiting for Escort and their song to get ready. Is the Destify ready? Do you have the Destify team? Are you ready? Can you put your hands together for Miss Victoria? Put your hands together for Miss Victoria. Just come and talk to us about Dexify. It's your day. Put your hands together for Dexify. Just walk straight here. We have the Metaverse Experience Room. Go there, talk to them, book your space. If you minted the NFT, it's express for you. Show them the NFT token address, and you just begin to experience it. Do you have slides for Testify there that you can project? You don't? Please give them your slide there so that they can project it, please. Whitebit, if you have slide, please give it to them. Give them the video that you want to play. Any product, any marketing material that you have, you give them there for them to do that. Where is my spoken word guy? blockchain spoken word. Edward, is he outside? Please transfer the file so that you can do this presentation. If you want to have a cup of coffee, we have coffee on your left and your right. Just walk to the table and make yourself a cup of coffee. Our next session, our next powerful session will start by 1:15 on the dot. We are going to have virtual participants for that particular session. So we must do everything possible to make sure that 1:45 we take up with the panel session. Another powerful panel session for us here. So we have just about 15 more minutes before that time. So please transfer the files and let's get your presentations done. Can we have some music, please? Can we have some music while you're waiting to do that? Wybit, what about your video? Have you given them a video to play? They should take the video, take it on a flash drive and give them the video to play. Please. Dave, please come and do your talk on the human brain on the blockchain. Put your hands together for Dave Partner as he talks to us about the human brain on the blockchain. Put your hands together for Dave Partner, the Honorable Youth Leader of URL.
Good day, everyone. My name is Dave Partner. I'm a software engineer. Been a software engineer for many years. I'm a startup founder and a tutor online. So today I'm going to talk about a field of the blockchain that many people are not talking about yet. First of all, I will introduce a term called transhumanism. So some scientists believe that in the future, near future, they will be able to advance the human body so much that it will make sense that you don't call those kind of humans humans again. So they become sort of post-humans. A good example is if a man loses his leg, you could fix a prosthetic leg. That person becomes a cyborg. Anybody with a prosthetic leg is a cyborg. That's half human, half machine. What of heart pacemaker? So humans have been integrating machines into this physical body. And someday, scientists feel that they will get to a point where a person will look so different, so advanced than a regular human that they can no longer be classified as humans. Now, a subsection of this transhumanism is called digital humanism. So some scientists believe that in the near future, technology will advance to the point where some humans will exist only as softwares without any physical body. How is this possible? One way it is possible is that picture an old person, 99 years old, 100 years old. I don't know if you have seen somebody like that. Their brain is intact. Their mental faculties is intact, but their body is dying. Should we allow such a person to die? So these scientists believe that there will be technology that possibly you can put on the head of the person and scan the brain and put it on the internet. The person becomes a software, their body can die if it wants. That's digital humanism. And they estimate that there are billions of digital humans that exist in the future. We're just trying to make them come into existence. Now, let's imagine that this thing is true, that there are digital humans in the future. What problems would they face? The first biggest problem is if your mind is on the internet, you're exposed to virus attack. That's digital corruption. Somebody from the street here can hack Albert Einstein's mind, and now Albert Einstein is some Chukwuemeka Shegun. Now, how do we prevent that? There's only one way. It has to be on the blockchain. Blockchain has already largely solved the problem of hacking. Now, another problem such people would face is the problem of having their emotions fixed. Now, picture a scenario where we have built, somebody has written an algorithm that represents the human mind, and this guy is existing on the internet. He can chat with his family members, he can make phone calls, everything any human being can do, but it doesn't have a physical location. How do we store this person's emotions? It has to be on the blockchain, because we don't want the emotions changed or confused. What you felt yesterday, the level of happiness you felt yesterday is different from the ones you felt today. The level of curiosity, anger, and all those emotions. We have to take snapshots of it and attach it to your digital identity. We also have to save your memory. These are the things that collectively make up your consciousness. It should never be confused. It should never be hackable. This is blockchain. Currently, there are over 500 funded startups that are working on this now. Over 500. And one of them is the popular one by Elon Musk. That's the Neuralink startup. I don't know if you've heard of it. Bill Gates looked at it and was so convinced of the potentials of what Elon Musk is doing with the Neuralink that he invested $1 billion into it. And what is Musk doing? He wants to attach a device behind the human ear here, and then that device goes into your brain, and now it enhances things like your memory, your cognitive functions. Now you see things you will never forget. It enhances your processing capability. Now you can do math that you couldn't do before. And this is what they are already test running right now. So imagine what will happen in 10, 20 years' time. They are gradually fusing technology into the human brain. We are going to get to that point where, theoretically, the entirety of the human brain can be transmitted into technology. Now, is this even possible? A lot of people will argue against this, that human consciousness cannot be transmitted into something else. But the counter-argument is that consciousness is in levels. The consciousness a professor has over mathematics is different from the consciousness a 100-level student will have over the same mathematics. A professor can look at the same problem and see other dimensions of it. So, if we keep reducing it, we can see that the consciousness of an ant is different from the consciousness of a dog, different from the consciousness of a human. And I can tell you, based on that analogy, computers have already gained consciousness as we speak. Because you can pass values into them, they process it and give you back. They have memory. Also, the only problem is that their consciousness has not got to the point that we are talking about in this discussion. So let's analyze one or two of the most complex human functions and see whether, theoretically, is it even possible that computers can imitate that one day? Are humans the only living things that have emotions? That's a big question. Emotions are some of the most complex things that we do as humans. But then other animals have it. We know that dogs can be happy too. Dogs can be jealous. They can be angry. They can have rage. And a whole lot of things, including curiosity. The only difference is that ours is at a higher level. Now, how do you know that a dog is angry? You don't go into the brain of the dog to figure out whether the dog is angry. The way you know is by the external observation, the reaction of the dog. So if we get to a point where a computer is angry, how would we know? By looking at the algorithm? No. We're just going to observe what the computer is doing. So let's look at 3 emotions. And this is very controversial, but it calls for debate. That is love, like, and hate. If we can figure out a pseudocode, programmers know what pseudocode is. Basically, verbal descriptions of possible algorithms. If we can break these things down into pseudocode, then we can write codes in software that can do this. If we can write software that can imitate love, like, and hate, and other emotions, then it follows that someday we can scan the human brain and transmit it into a computer, and it will have those emotions too. So, here's a simplistic description. We have love, and many people think that hate is the opposite of love. No, it's just a solution. Like when your car breaks down, you change the tire. Changing the tire is not the opposite of a car moving. It's just a solution for when the car breaks down. So when a human being loves, not just a human being, any animal is in love, the brain of the person plots a triangle. In that triangle, the lover is at the top mentally. All right? This is happening in the brain of the lover. And then the person they are loving is somewhere on the pyramid. Now, the person that is in love at the top owes a duty of protection and provision to the person they are loving, but then they believe that the person they love owes them a duty of loyalty. A good example, if you're walking on the road and somebody slaps you, you might take a step back and try to find out why they did that. But if you're walking with your mother and somebody slaps your mother, you go berserk. You don't care about the reason. Because what? You love your mother and you owe her a duty of protection. Now, let's reverse it. Imagine a daughter being wayward. That is disloyal to the father. What does the father do? The father tries to rescue the situation by cutting her off. That's when father say, I disown you. What is that disowning? That is a section of that pyramid has exhibited disloyalty. Now the lover wants to destroy the pyramid. So he cuts the connection. Or he destroys the person that is disloyal, or he destroys himself. These are the 3 ways you can destroy the pyramid. So think of it in a real life scenario. Somebody catches his wife cheating. What does he do? He tries to destroy the pyramid in either of these 3 ways. Either destroy the lover, destroy the connection, or destroy himself. This explains a lot of things about love, but not all. So now we can see the pseudocode. What happens if this happens? This is how this should react. If that happens, this is how it should react. That is pseudocode. Maybe somebody here can someday actually write the software code to reflect this. And remember, we don't have to look at the code to know whether the computer is in love. We watch the reaction. If your phone loves you today, how would you know? By looking at the Android code? No. It's by the reaction. Maybe it checks up on you. How are you doing? How is the event going? Just SMS, you reply. After some time, you can be convinced. Now, all these things, to an extent, there's a strong argument that it is possible. And that is why a lot of billionaires are investing in these cognitive technologies. And I believe that blockchain has a very big role to play in this. And then I'm going to close my speech today with just one quote about long life. Scientists have been trying so hard to extend the human life, and this is just one way that effort has been. Now, there's an age-long quote that says, "The earth is not our home. We're just travelers passing through." But the potentials of the future make me want to ask, are we still travelers passing through? If some way, someday, somehow, we figure out how to extend human life and stay here forever. Thank you very much. Second panel.
Please put your hands together for Dave Partner again. Quite impressive, but I know that the things he talks about, if you follow him on Facebook, you know that, you know, your brain sometimes, you just close his page. And then he has this funny, weird understanding about life, you know. But, you know, weird people make the world a better place in so many ways. So in the next 2 minutes, we'll be starting the next session, the next panel session. And in this panel session, we'll be looking at the legal and trust issues in the emerging world of dynamic NFTs, smart contracts, and the metaverse. Again, legal and trust issues. While the first panel was on, they were touching a little bit on legality. But now the lawyers in the house will do justice by explaining very well the legalities and trust issues that are associated with NFTs, in the emerging world of dynamic NFTs, smart contracts. Look at the word dynamic NFTs. Dynamic NFTs. We're not talking about mere JPEGs. We're talking about NFTs that have the capacity to change when some conditions are met. Now, the thesis that covers this panel says that the panel will focus on the legal and trust issues of the emerging unique asset class of dynamic NFTs, smart contracts, and so on. We have two of our panelists that will be joining us virtually, and the rest are here on ground. Please, Shehu, can you connect, make sure that the panelists that are joining us virtually are ready to join. So let's put our hands together for Boki Ogunsaki. He's a lawyer, a blockchain lawyer, a researcher with a strong focus on IPs and digital properties. Put your hands together for Miss Buki, Mrs. Buki, as she comes up. The next up is Mr. Kwe Barino. Kwe Barino is the head of legal at Blockchain Nigeria Group. He's also a blockchain lawyer, well versed in understanding the legalities of whatever you are doing in the industry. You need lawyers. You need lawyers. Someone will go to jail if you don't talk to lawyers now. Because when you steal somebody's work and go and put it on the internet, remember, this one na blockchain, it will not forget. 30 years later, they'll just look transaction and say it's you. And so, you say they're carrying you to where you don't know. All right. And the next person that is coming is my good friend Davison Oturu. Also a seasoned IP intellectual property lawyer. Put your hands for Davison as he comes up. Then joining us virtually, we have Sarah Malik. Sarah Malik is an award-winning lawyer. She practices in the UK and the United States, in UAE regions of the world. Fantastic lady. You need to put your hands together for them. I can see them online. Hi, Sarah. Hi. Then we have also Nicola Rement, also a lawyer. Both of them work at Soul International. That's a legal firm. They will talk to us about what they do at Soul. Put your hands together for Nico Rement. Thank you so much. Now, this panel session will be coordinated and moderated by Mr. Barino Kwe Paul.
think I already have a mic here. So, I think I would like to state it so I can also see Nicole and Sarah. Okay, so it's afternoon, right? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the conference once again. Today, just like Mr. Chuta said, we'll be speaking. This particular panel will be addressing the issue around trust, legality, as it concerns NFTs, the metaverse, and crypto in general. So today, we are just going to go straight to the point without much ado. We already have our panelists introduced to us, so go straight to the point. So the first question, my first question for today will go to Madam Buki, Mrs. Buki. So it's about making clarification. It's introductory because for us to be able to know how the legality and trust applies to the metaverse and NFTs, we have to first of all understand what legality and trust entails. And so Mrs. Buki will give us a clarification on what legality and trust entails, and if there are any difference or similarities between the two terms. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, BNUG. It's awesome to be here today. It's an honor and a privilege. So when it comes to legality and trust, legality, as we know, would rely on regulations that we have, while trust is the base for this new system, decentralized system, where it is trustless. So you don't necessarily need to know another party before dealing with them or entering into a contract with them. Trust does not need to play a role. Whereas the other way around, when it comes to traditional legality, trust plays an important role. And we need to entrench that law, that trust in regulations. So when it comes to legality is law, and when it comes to trust on the blockchain and with blockchain technology, it definitely does not need to be there, which is the reason why we have things like smart contracts, which are Turing complete. They complete without parties even knowing each other, or even jurisdiction is out of the question, because I could be in Lagos and the person that I'm transacting with, could be in Cyprus. We don't need to see each other. We don't need to have had previous dealings. We don't even need to have people that know each other or any single contract. The only contract binding us will be the smart contract. And once we enter the terms into the contract itself, it is fully automated and doesn't need that trust element. So I think those are the two contradicting aspects of legality and trust. Do they have things in common? Definitely smart contracts are still legal. But then when it comes to unforeseeable circumstances, that the smart contract is not able to tell what happens in situations like that. And I think that's why we're here today, to discuss such things. How do we address situations where unforeseeable circumstances come into the picture? How are we able to regulate that aspect, of blockchain technology?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Buki, for that. The next question will go to Nicola. I believe you can unmute yourself. So the question requires you to give an overview of key legal cases involving the metaverse.
Oh, I think that's for Sarah.
Oh, that's for Sarah? Okay. So Sarah, can you take that? Apologies.
Yeah.
Okay, we can both deal with. Firstly, thank you for inviting us. We're super honoured to be part of this, and we're really sorry we can't be there in person, and hopefully next time we will. Please also excuse if you can't hear properly. We're in a hotel and there's background music. We've just come off another panel, but we very much wanted to be part of this. So Nicola will address you on what the actual legal issues in the metaverse and the general kind of hot topics that are emerging. But from my perspective, I just want to touch on a couple of the issues or a couple of the cases that are hot in the metaverse. And it's not any surprise that they're all to do with IP and trademark and what is the actual asset or the NFT, and is that artistic, or is it ripping off a trademark, or is it any kind of infringement? So most of you, I think, will be aware that in January of this year there was a trademark lawsuit filed against Nathan Rothschild by Hermes because they decided to sell 100, and those of you in the audience who are ladies and have Birkins, and those of you who are gentlemen should be buying those Birkins, or the ladies, the 100 Birkin NFTs were put out. And each of those NFTs was sold for about 0.5 Ethereum. And obviously the prices skyrocketed. And Birkin obviously took umbrage with this and brought claims of trademark infringement. And they basically said that, what they're trying to do is rip off, if you like, the Meta Birkin, the Birkin brand by putting the word meta before it, referring to virtual worlds, economies where digital assets like NFTs can be sold. There was Rothschild pushed to have a dismissal of the lawsuit, and what they argued was, look, we're not trying to be Birkin, we're not trying to mislead the public. Basically, all we're doing is artistically relevant. That's what we're doing. It's artistic work, and we're not misleading anybody about their source or content. So they said we're protected as artistic expressions under the First Amendment. The judge, or one of the judges of the US District Court, said no, that doesn't ride. And he said there is an artistic aspect to the image, but nonetheless there are sufficient allegations to be made that their use of meta Birkins is not artistically relevant. There's allegations that the misleading aspect is something that needs to be dealt with. So most of the cases that are emanating in the kind of virtual world, and there's another one you'll know about, Nike and StockX, are all to do with the NFTs being sold and what rights the original kind of manufacturer or company or otherwise has over that, and whether it's being misled. So with the Nike and StockX, which was February 2021, Nike filed a suit against StockX, saying that StockX is a Detroit-based marketplace. Trademark infringement, dilution, unfair competition, the usual that's thrown at it. And they're saying you're offering these NFT images as physical versions, if you like, of the Nike footwear, but you don't have authorization to do that. And they're saying that you're selling these at heavily inflated prices. Customers who are buying them don't know that there's absolutely no correlation or relationship between, us and you. And therefore, you're not authorized. They're all kind of IP trademark infringement rights. There's a separate kind of conversation to be had, and we spoke about it at the ICC in Lagos in June, about the whole rules that apply to disputing in the metaverse, whether it's the arbitration rules, user to user, or where the metaverse arbitration rules. But Nikki, when she gives her bit, will talk about the general issues that are arising legally in the metaverse. But certainly from our side, and there's few in the test cases because we don't know which way they're going to go. And it's really an exciting place to be in because it's so new. But we watch with interest. I mean, there are other matters as well that are in the metaverse: Rockefeller, Damon Dash, Miramax, Quentin Tarantino, film rights. But they're all to do with IP, infringement, trademark. Do they have the right to have these NFTs, selling these NFTs? Are they artistic? Are they trying to mislead the customer? So we watch with anticipation of how these matters will actually be dealt with, because it's all new law. There's no precedent, there's no established law, there's no kind of jurisdiction that is being used. So we watch with interest. But thank you for the question.
All right, thank you, Sarah.
Nikki, you got your ahead from Sam.
Thank you for that. Miss Sarah, in her response, actually made reference to issues of trademark as it regards intellectual property. Mr. Davison, in your view, do you think the current regime on copyright intellectual property can adequately address issues around the metaverse and NFT, or there is a need for the creation of new regimes to specifically, to like spatially address intellectual rights issues around metaverse and NFTs?
All right. Thank you, Paul, and good afternoon, everyone. So I would say it's going to be a bit difficult and, would I say, expensive to try and create special laws for the metaverse, because at the end of the day, really, the metaverse is exciting, it's interesting, but it's just one aspect of development, right? I'm actually part of a committee right now set up by some international bodies who are looking at IP in space, because similar to the metaverse, you're having people now looking to go to space and set up factories, set up things. People will buy and sell and trade, and so the possibility of infringements taking place is also quite ripe for space as well. And what we looked at doing was, rather than trying to have special laws per se, we're looking at existing laws, around space law, around IP laws, and seeing how we can find a level of uniformity across them. So when it comes to the metaverse, already you have IP laws that they may not be comprehensive in themselves, but by extending their applicability, right, you can actually find protection, which is what is happening in some of these cases that were mentioned earlier on. If you look at even Nigeria's trademark laws, for instance, even though it is a trademark act of 1967, but within those laws, you can find ways of being able to protect your IP in the metaverse. Can it be stronger? Yes, but it's going to be quite a lot, because each country has its own IP law and they are territorial. So if I protect my NFT in Ghana, for instance, it doesn't mean that it's protected in Nigeria. So while I may protect it in Ghana, I can go to Singapore and register that same NFT for somebody else. So those are the challenges you would find. So it's just going to be very, very difficult and expensive to set up something completely different from what already exists. But I think using existing laws like the Madrid Protocol filing system, which allows you to get protection across over 100 countries, and a few other regional filing systems. If you file on the classes that allows you protection for the internet, produced goods and services, you can then find protection for your NFTs in the metaverse there.
Okay, thank you very much. In other words, the current regimes on intellectual property can be made applicable to NFTs and the metaverse, maybe with a little of amendment or judicial pronouncement here and there.
Yes, they may not be robust enough, but using what we have, you can find protection.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davison. So, Nicola will finally come to you. So, what are the most important legal considerations for anyone who has a business or is setting up their business in the space? How can legal issues be avoided? The sound, please. Check if...
Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now, please.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if you heard me just now. I just wanted to thank you all very much for having us. As Sarah already said, next time, hopefully we'll be there in person. And obviously, we'd love to also welcome you in Dubai. So, of course, we understand that when you're starting a business, there are other costs that you need to worry about. And usually, setting up the business and getting it running is more important than wanting to spend a lot of money on legal fees. And there is obviously a reluctance in spending on legal fees. However, just make sure that when you do set up your business, especially in this space, make sure that your reluctance doesn't cost you a whole lot of money further down the line. So be proactive and not reactive. Get your foundations right, not only on the legal side. I mean, just in general, get your foundations right from the beginning. It's very important and maybe worth getting a lawyer involved for. It may also be worth investing in a lawyer to draft important agreements. So if you're looking at IP right agreements, copyright agreements, partnership, safe agreements, all of these things, make sure that they are actually done right from the beginnings. Also, make sure that if you have a property or a product, that it is trademarked or that you're filing it correctly. When it comes to ownership of property, for example, you see now Nike's filed, I think, was it early this year, seven applications. Victoria's Secret filed for applications this year. McDonald's filed for trademark applications all around food and beverages. I think Victoria's Secret was all about virtual clothing collections. So it's really important to make sure that you protect what you're also building. And you have to file them in time, especially, for example, if you look at US trademarks, it can take up to a year to get a trademark filed. So it really is important to get these done earlier rather than later, because you can just end up in like a lot of a legal mess when you don't do this correctly. It should also be noted that with virtual items, there's always a difference between the virtual property and the ownership of the virtual property and the ownership of the digital, of the physical item. So that ownership may actually lie with different people. So be aware of what you actually want and how you structure yourself within the space. Also, when looking at regulations and compliance are rapidly changing in the jurisdiction, in jurisdictions all around the world. So when it comes to that, it's quite important to be on top of any applicable regulatory and compliance matters. Don't just assume you're aware of regulations that you're supposed to be aware of, but actually get yourself some advice in the jurisdiction that you're operating in or want to be operating in, and have somebody stay on top of it. Because these are things that can cost you a lot in the end. So I'm not saying I am a lawyer. I'm like, go spend money on lawyers. Don't spend money on super expensive lawyers, and don't think that all your money needs to go to legal fees. But I think it is important to get certain legal aspects right from the beginning, and that will actually save you money probably further down the line. So don't see it as a cost, but rather as an investment. And also, if you look at legal contracts, it's also important that they are drafted the way they work for you and they capture everything that you actually need. So it is always good to have somebody there who either drafts it or just has a look at it for you to make sure that everything is captured. Have someone who's on top of all your regulatory and compliance developments, because the heftiest fines come if you deal with non-compliance issues. You also end up spending lots of money down the line if you have poorly drafted agreements that result in disputes, or, as Sarah already mentioned, there's so many issues around IP rights and ownership. So if you can avoid, or at least avoid to some extent, these issues by getting lawyers in at an early stage. Because it's really no point in having the best product or the fanciest, newest technology if you haven't actually protected yourself. So ensure you are protected, your business is protected, your product is protected. Get yourself everything set up properly from the outside, and really stay on top of it throughout the process of setting up. Because legal issues that can arise are obviously, like I already mentioned, contract disputes, IP right protection and privacy matters, ownership of property disputes. And you probably also want to have lawyers involved when you're creating, for example, when you're creating an NFT and you want to ensure that you know what IP rights and ownership rights you're actually keeping and what you're actually giving away. So I think this is just a brief rundown of what issues can arise and I guess also how you can avoid them.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, Nicola, for that. Talking about getting lawyers involved in your project or company as a blockchain or as a transaction, as a party in a transaction that is being carried out on the blockchain. We have the smart contract, which at the early stage of the smart contract, it was touted that the smart contract will actually do away with the need for lawyers, as parties can now transact with each other in a trustless environment using smart contract without any need of an external or a third party to enforce it. So, Madam Buki, do you really think a smart contract can do without a legal application, or how can you match both a smart contract and when it comes to compliance with legalities? Thank you.
All right. I always get to answer this question, and I love it very much because many people think that because the system is decentralized, so suddenly you don't need lawyers anymore. I don't think that is the case. It's not the case, actually. For instance, when it comes to NFTs, there are certain processes that need to be um, embarked upon before embarking on an NFT project. Contracts need to be drawn. You are going to have partners. There's going to be copyright. There's going to be intellectual property. You probably need to even have an agreement or a link to an agreement in the metadata of your NFT. Otherwise, you are not, entirely protected. There are so many other aspects. When it comes to property as well, digital land, you need to have proper contracts in place. When it comes to music, the entire production may not be completely yours. So you need to have artist releases signed. You need to have music production agreements. There's so many things that need to be in place prior to launching your music NFT. So there are many aspects that a lawyer will still play very significant role in your smart contracts. Again, I mentioned earlier that smart contracts don't entirely cover unforeseen circumstances. So what happens, in a situation where there's an unforeseen circumstance? I'll give an example. There's this Indian case of an owner of a bored ape, and I believe that he used the bored ape to get a loan from either NFTFi or one of these other DeFi loan organizations. But then he had drafted an agreement, which was included in the, IPFS file of the NFT, that under no circumstances would the bored ape be sold. So even though he was giving the bored ape to the company as collateral to get a loan, he received the loan, and in the terms of the loan, it stated that where he defaulted, there would be a dispute resolution arbitration process to get the funds back, or they would give him I think the clause that he added in the agreement was that under no circumstance would he lose ownership of the bored ape, that he could either rent it out or there will be other options available to him than for them to sell. So when he defaulted on his loan, what happened was that the company went ahead and placed the bored ape on OpenSea for sale because he had defaulted on the loan. But because he had the agreement in place, he took them to court, and the court ruled that because there was an agreement that specifically stated that the bored ape could not be sold, there needed to be other options that were available to him apart from that. And he won the case. So you can see that in that particular circumstance, he was protected by law, and was able to even retrieve his ownership back under the law, in India. So there's no doing away with lawyers, unfortunately, in this circumstance. The technology may be new, but like David had even alluded to earlier, that traditional laws will still take place. We will still fall back on traditional laws. The only thing now is that we just need to extend that applicability of the laws. So I think, in all the circumstances of those of us here who are embarking on, DLT or blockchain or NFT or metaverse projects, we need to ensure that all those agreements are in place and we comply with the relevant law, that applies to that section or that particular project.
Yeah, let me add something there as well. And thank you, Buki, very expansive. And I think one thing that the developers and the innovators need to realize is, because sometimes this convo keeps coming up around the roles of lawyers within this ecosystem. The truth of the matter is, we may be lawyers, but we pretty much understand the technology, right? And what we're trying to do is to safeguard most of these things for the ecosystem at the end of the day. Now, the smart contract is amazing, it's fantastic, but there are still other legal principles that will come into play in order for even that smart contract to be enforceable or be regarded as being valid. There's for instance, when it comes to capacity, right? A minor cannot execute a contract, right? If a minor decides to execute a contract, it's void, which means it cannot be enforced. So while you may enter into the smart contract with a minor or an illiterate, for instance, those are not enforceable contracts. So you end up losing at the end of the day. But it's only a lawyer that will be able to tell you, well, okay, now the lawyer is letting you know anyway, but then there are other things too that the lawyer may not tell you. But it's lawyers that may be able to read between the lines and, advise you on what needs to be done. So I think it's important because even before our session came up, we were speaking with the artist on the NFT and he was saying how expensive lawyers can be. Maybe it's not held by the fact that some lawyers wear expensive suits, but I think it still matters, to get the right type of guidance when you're impacting this sort of thing. So smart contracts, fantastic, amazing, but they can't do it with lawyers at the end of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson. Though the next question will still come back to you, but while he takes the next question, we'll be opening the floor to questions. We'll be open to questions from the floor after his response to this particular question. While responding to the last question, you made a whole lot of reference to the fact that the current existing law, though it was in relation to intellectual property, I believe as well, you could also hold the view that even existing laws in other areas can as well apply to different aspects of the blockchain, of metaverse, and of NFT. What, in your view, do you think should be the proper approach on the part of regulators when it comes to regulating activities and the transaction around the blockchain? Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty easy one, and I think anybody in the room will say the approach should be that of collaboration. For a long time, the government authorities and the regulators have had that approach of seemingly stifling innovation, right? And you can understand it sometimes because think of it as your own business, right? If there are set rules and regulations and then somebody just starts to create another type of thing somewhere, you'll be worried, you'll be concerned. If the law says you can't move along this place, but then somebody says, but there's freedom of movement, so I have to move, then there will be the problem. So I think the regulators need to understand the technology. They need to understand how the innovators will always be ahead and then find ways that they can collaborate and understand them. The Central Bank of Nigeria is one example, and we're all familiar with what they've done and how they clamped down, done a couple of things. But that hasn't solved what they perceived was the problem. Because it may shock you at the myriad of issues that the Central Bank of Nigeria took into consideration when they were carrying out that ban. They were thinking about the falling prices of the naira, the exchange rate, but it's worse than it was then. They wanted to introduce e-naira, but I don't know what the adoption is now. So rather than being suspicious of these things, they need to be able to embrace it and find how it can work. In the US, for instance, they've looked at ways of taxing, these things, and they can actually be taxed in Nigeria because it's property, right? So you can tax it, and you can make revenue out of that. So the SEC is trying for what it is. They have their rules now, though they are not operational yet. I believe when they become operational, it will allow more engagements, right, and probably open things more within the ecosystem. But I think collaboration is probably the only way to go at the end of the day.
Okay, I just wanted to add that many times I don't think regulators understand this space. So they need to understand what is going on there in order to know what needs to be regulated. Now, there are millions of people roaming around in this digital virtual world, doing different things that the government doesn't even know about. And I wanted to just emphasize, usually when we're talking of the metaverse, we talk about trademark laws, copyright laws, we talk about privacy, data privacy and all, but there are also criminal laws that need to come into place. There are also corporate laws that need to come into place, because now we find that corporations like Meta are the ones that are designing the rules and the regulations for the metaverse, because we don't have regulators in that space. And we have to make sure that regulators come into the place, because when a corporate body is the one dictating the rules, there's a balance of interest that may not be in favor of public interest. Because if you are trying to balance public interest and corporate interest or profit, making profit, it doesn't exactly balance out. So that's where you need regulators in the space, for guidelines and frameworks, so that many things are not escaped. I also want to mention the aspect of digital identity. I can be me here, but in the metaverse, I could be two different people. I was mentioning to somebody earlier that one of my characters could be a criminal element, and the second one could be my real person. How do we trace the criminal elements in the metaverse or in this virtual space, or social economy that we call the metaverse? Because there are people that are actually living and working in the metaverse on a daily basis. So it's important that regulators come into this space to regulate and give proper guidelines and frameworks for people, for users and for organizations. So we're talking not just privacy, we're talking corporate law as well, criminal laws as well. There are various aspects, that we could plug into the metaverse.
Why would you want to be a criminal in the metaverse?
Well, maybe not criminal, but doing illegal things.
Multiple person disorder. Okay, so we'll be taking questions from the floor now. I think we've seen that hand for a while. Please, the mic. This is the mic. The guy behind with the white sleeve. You introduce yourself. Sir, this way. No, the guy behind. Him first. His hand has been up for a while. All right, so just a brief introduction of yourself, your question, and if you are directing it to a specific person, you can also...
good afternoon, everyone.
My
name is Tito Fumi. I'm a lawyer. My question is to Mr. Davison and also Mr. Ogunshakin. So, smart contracts here, are there for issues of unfair terms? Because they're basically like standard e-commerce contracts, boilerplate contracts, take it or leave it. There's a higher bargaining, there's literally no bargaining power for the terms in the contract. How do we bridge this lacuna? Because I am the tech guy. I've imputed what's supposed to be in the smart contract. You are the consumer. There's no bargaining power for the consumer to decide what terms should favor him in the smart contract. So how do we bridge this lacuna in relation to smart contracts and e-commerce contracts generally?
Well, so I think the scenario that you've painted, right, and I don't know if I'm getting you right, but the scenario that you've painted, you could pretty much find it in any normal contract, not necessarily a smart contract. You may still have unfair terms at the end of the day, because if the developer has his terms and you have your conception of what it should be, then you still find yourself in that same place where you would be, regardless of whether it was a smart contract or a normal contract. So I don't think it changes, the complexion of the transaction that you're looking to carry out, unless if you're thinking along the lines that maybe parties should have had the opportunity to negotiate before you reach, that contract. But since you will pretty much be aware of the terms before you decide to go into it anyway, then I really don't know whether there's any avenue for you to try and vary what is already embedded in the smart contract, because it's self-executing in itself. So there really is, it's just what it is, I don't know if I got you right.
So the lacuna exactly is where the issue is, mainly with smart contracts. How do you govern the developers who are coding the contracts? That's where we were talking about regulators entering into the space and beginning to regulate in a different way. To also address the lacuna, there's what we call decentralized justice. So we actually have courts and arbitration systems that are in the decentralized space. So we have like the likes of Aragon, we have Kleros, where once the platform or blockchain layer is plugged into their system, they will be the ones to hear the matters and resolve the disputes. So they will create a new smart contract and put the old smart contract into it, and then now hand it over to the court system. So once the court system gives their verdict, the new smart contract will take over and implement whatever the judgment is. So I think that's one solution on one end. And then we have the other solution where regulators need to come into the space and begin to give certain guidelines and give corporate organizations and developers and people who are developing these smart contracts, give them restrictions, that they need to abide by.
In other words, what you're saying is that there's need for every smart contract to have an arbitration clause embedded in it.
They can have arbitration clauses, but what we now have is, for you to have a smart contract on a particular blockchain, that particular blockchain must be subscribed to a decentralized justice system.
Okay, good. Okay, so the mic. Okay, please.
My name is Faridat, a law student from University of Lagos. I'll be asking the lawyer in white suit first. Sir, in school,
White suit?
sir, in school, I learned that to every rule there is an exception. So when you were mentioning the capacity of contracts, so something came to my mind that, okay, in blockchain, regarding capacity of contracts, do we have exceptions? While dealing with NFTs or in the metaverse world, regarding capacity of contracts, is there any exception to it? I want to ask you that. Then my second question goes to the beautiful madam. I want to ask if there is any specific documented regulations regarding blockchain, and if there is any, how can we assess them, or anyone that you have idea of, so that we can tap on your knowledge, ma'am. So those are my two questions.
All right. Thank you. I was wondering if there was someone else somewhere with a difference. Okay. Well, so in terms of exemptions, I would say no, because you see, the principles are the same, and that's why they are smart contracts, right? But they are contracts at the end of the day. So offer, acceptance, consideration, intention to enter into legal relations, consensus added them. Those are what you would look at to determine whether a contract has come into existence in the first place. Then you now start looking at the other factors as well, that would crystallize that contract. Because like I said, while you may have these elements of a contract, which means that it is binding and will typically be enforceable. There will be other, things you need to take into consideration. Things like misrepresentation, mistake, as well. All of those have to be taken into consideration. So exemptions would then raise questions as to the validity of the smart contract at the end of the day.
In addition to what he just said, concerning your exemption, of course, we have the about capacity. We have the issue of a next friend. Let's say the person is mentally deranged or the person is a minor. The person can actually enter a valid contract through his or her next friend. So I don't know if that kind of answers your question. Madam.
So with regards to regulations, in Nigeria, we don't have, the only regulation that we have so far is the SEC rules for virtual asset service providers. So you can download that online. Globally, you can take a look at the SEC rules in the US, CFTC, how we test to know whether an NFT is a security or whether it's just a regular asset. You can also take a look at MICA in Europe, MICA. You can take a look at their rules. Although it doesn't cover NFTs, it covers most crypto assets. Then I think Dubai also has their regulation for their crypto regulation as well. So you can also Google that and read through the processes of getting licenses in Dubai. So there are a few here and there that, once you, Google is your friend. Once you go online, you'll be able to get, but I think that's a good summary of the major ones that are being worked on.
Hello? Give him. Hello? No, him first. Give it to him. No, not him. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, my name is Iken Namadi. I'm a lawyer too. My question actually goes straight to what was discussed, I think, in the last session about copyright. And I think I'm directing it to my learned friend, Davis. So, the gentleman talked about open AI. That is a situation where the AI can, create arts. The foundation was that actually they don't really create like original art. They learn that things, they learn from arts that are already in existence. So the question I'm asking, where the AI picks maybe parts of the art that is already existing and picks from another one and now creates a new art, who actually do you give the copyright to? That's my question. Who owns the art?
Okay, well,
the intellectual.
Yeah, so just to simplify that, at the end of the day, only living beings can own intellectual property. That's the state of our law now. So copyright can only be owned by a person. It can't be owned by AI. It cannot be owned by a monkey or by anything else other than the human being. So in that kind of situation, it will be in the best interest of the person creating the NFT to ensure that the AI is not infringing on already existing intellectual property. Because if it does that, then that individual who decides to publish it will be held liable for copyright infringements and other types of IP infringements you can probably find inside what has been created. Does that answer your... Also, to add to that, with regards AI, just like what Davidson, said, you could, if you use works that belong to other people, just like he said, you could be held liable, and not just one individual now. It could be either individually, jointly, or severally. So there could be a couple of individuals that are held liable for the AI or for the AI algorithm. So creating or coding AI algorithm or using AI does not absolve you of any responsibility. In fact, it even increases your liability in that particular circumstance.
So, in other words, it depends on how unique the art that is created comes out. So please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think there is a misconception about what smart contracts are, and I know that lawyers have been asking the questions. But by the very definition of smart contracts, it takes a human being out of the equation. So when you had a situation where somebody in India used an NFT that was supposed not to be sold, you are not dealing. Now there are two things. There's an entity and then there's a smart. By that definition of smart contract, it's code, and by entering into that smart contract, it means that it is enforceable whether you like it or not. Secondly, there are things called oracles. Now, if I go into a bet with you, for instance, in the real world, if I say, let's bet who's going to win the Champions League, and you say Man U, and I say maybe Liverpool, for instance. Now, in the real world, you could renege and we'll go to court. Now, if we put it on a smart contract, we will code oracles, and in the oracle, we'll have programmed that we're going to get the results from these websites, BBC, this, and then they will feed into it, and then whatever happens, if I bet $1,000, automatically, whoever wins, the contract will execute in such a way that it will give. There is no recourse. There is no legal. There is no human being in there. So my own is, how are we bringing humans into what code is supposed to be doing?
Okay, so again, smart contracts we already know are Turing complete. They are fully automated, just the way you said it. But what happens when it has completed the transaction and there's a dispute? What happens in that circumstance? There could be a dispute because we are humans, unfortunately. The people who are behind the smart contracts are humans. So, for instance, let's give an example, right? Let's say I commissioned someone to design a website and we encode it in a smart contract. And the contract is fully automated and complete once the website has been done. What if I don't like the website? What if it's not?
No, so there will be rules written in the smart contract to say, I will only pay this person if he's completed the home page, the About Us page, that's why the oracles are there. So they will go and check to see if, and once that thing is done, itself, that's why it's Turing complete. If you look at it from, that's why banks don't really like cryptocurrency. Because it means that you are taking an entire financial system out. If I can relate that, it's like cash. If I give you cash right now, it leaves me. It becomes a bearer instrument until there is no settlement, there is no clearing, there is no reconciliation. That's the same way smart contract works, but it is on the blockchain and is executed by code. There is no human interaction.
I think the only aspect we are having issues with is we already agree it's fully automated. We already agree it's completed. But we're just talking about the percentage of unforeseen circumstances that may arise from that smart contract transaction. That little bit, that exception is where we're talking about.
So this is why sometimes there's that joke that how many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb now? Because you have to now decide how many. So we agree with you completely, and I'm not sure that we're looking at those situations that can arise. And I'll give you, because you see, it is when cases happen that we now say that there is precedent. And it is based on that precedent that you will now be able to explore the theory that you've been expounding. There's a case of, I think it's B2C2 versus Cunia, where there was a smart contract, but there was an error in the code that said, I think the person was supposed to be paid, I think 250 times more than what he was supposed to get. And because it was so it went like that. And the person now raised the legal principle of mistake. Because you see, like we've been saying, there are elements you have to consider for contracts. Where there's a mistake, where both parties were not thinking along the same lines, but it ended up that I was thinking of selling a car, you were thinking about selling a donkey, because we were talking about mobile, something that you can move it. At the end of the day, I bring a donkey, you don't like, so they went to court or to arbitration. I can't remember which one now. And it was actually decided in favor of the other party. Yes, that it had already been encoded, even though it was an error. So the principle of mistake could not avail the person who paid 250 times more. Do you get what I'm saying? So that principle still needed to be tested as to whether that was a circumstance that could change what would naturally be executed by virtue of it being a smart contract.
Now, what I want to say is, if that was possible, it means that all smart contract hacks would be taken to court, but not one. So if, for instance, you hear of all these hack attacks on smart contracts, where somebody hacked a smart contract and was able to siphon money, they never take them to court. What they do is they simply write all the exchanges, and somehow they block the address, the wallet address of whoever has done that hack. They don't take them to court. So in my own opinion, I think perhaps lawyers are just looking for a way to sort of insert themselves
to make money out of it.
So basically, what is there is
basically what he was trying to
basically say. What is there is that you might not really understand these things.
Yes.
You might not really understand these things because, like Mrs. Buki said initially, the law doesn't interfere with the smart contract. There is freedom, of course, for party to reach contract, but there are certain transactions that have certain terms that needs to be met for the contracts to be valid. And in some instances, you might enter an agreement with someone. Like, for instance, if you enter an agreement with an employee, it doesn't even matter whether the employee signed the document or not. There are situations where the court can upturn that document despite the fact that you both agreed to the terms in the contract of employment. Various terms of relationship and transaction has their unique kind of law or regulation guiding them. So smart contract is not an all in all. After it has been executed, after it can be executed, it's still humans that actually, let's say for instance, if money is sent to a wallet, or if a particular wallet, there's someone that has the private key to those wallets, and that person is still under the normal legal system. And if a dispute arises and they go to court, the court can still upturn it. And if the court upturns it or gives a verdict, you have no option than to obey. It's not about how you feel. It is what it is. I would like to go online to see if Nicole and Sarah has something to contribute to this issue, because
we're not here to collect your money. Don't worry. It's not your money that we're after.
Okay, so let's Nicola. I don't know if you have something to say about this particular issue.
Hi. Can you repeat it, because sometimes the connection properly. So do you mind repeating the question? Thank you.
We can't hear you.
Okay, yeah. You couldn't hear the question. Okay, to repeat the question, I said if you can actually respond to the question.
No, I can barely hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, good.
We were speaking earlier, and we're not sure if you could hear us, and you keep kind of cutting in and out. So if you could just repeat what you asked us.
Okay, so we are actually having a very tense issue here. So one of the conferencee is actually advancing the argument that lawyers are only looking for way to come in when it comes to smart contracts, because we talked about smart contracts. The importance of applying a law or legality when it comes to smart contract. And he is saying that smart contract is supposed to be automated by nature and doesn't necessarily need the interference of a third party, including the legal system. And that any attempt at
Well,
that simply means lawyers trying to force themselves into somewhere that they are not supposed to be.
Look, I see the argument. However, I think smart contracts in one way are not smart legal contracts, and I think there is a difference. So if you're looking at smart contracts, you're actually looking at a code that is written that if something happens, another thing gets executed, right? However, if you look at legal contracts, there are a lot of other things that come into play, right? There's so many more vague things that a smart contract in itself cannot capture. Even if you look at an arbitration clause, it still needs a human involved afterwards. So I really do think, yes, I understand a basic smart contract may not need a lawyer, but as soon as a structure becomes more complex and more parties become involved, lawyers are there to figure out how to protect every party, right? And this is something that the smart contract in itself is not able to do.
All right, thank you, Nicola. Sarah, do you have something to say as well?
I agree with what's been said, and I fully understand in the space that, it's all automated. Why do we need, human intervention? That's the thought process. That's the whole new world. That's what all this kind of digitization is. But even issues for us, I think, just kind of marrying this back to a previous question of capacity and otherwise, are we going to, there are exceptions. There are certain traditional victimies of law that will follow through whatever the process is, automated or not, and you can't divorce yourself from that. So it's correct that the smart contract per se might not need that kind of human intervention, but in terms of the legalistics and what happens, you can't get away from that. I think we're still a long way away yet from a world where you can completely do away. And it's not, there's a misconception about lawyers. We don't want to just jump in just to jump in. That's not smart lawyering. Forgive the pun. But there is a space for it, and it's about understanding what value that person will add. So I'm going to disagree. I'm going to agree to the extent that, yes, smart contracts, automated, don't need that human intervention. But I'm going to say for your own protections, and I think it's the point Nicola made earlier, be proactive, not reactive. Don't use us. Don't use lawyers. And then when you get in a mess, you will come to us and it'll cost you a lot more. It's like that.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I think the next question, yeah, give it to me.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Confidence, and I'm an IT support specialist. My question is around an issue that Mrs. Buki raised some time ago about committing crime in the metaverse. And my question is very straightforward. I want to ask, if the metaverse is truly just a virtual universe, like we have 3D games around, and we use the Oculus to, enter the metaverse, why should committing crime there, be an issue of great concern? I mean, we have some 3D games you can play where you shoot and keep people around, and it's just a game. So if the metaverse is just a virtual universe, why should committing crime there be an issue of great concern? Thank you.
All right. Awesome question. The reason why is because, number one, the metaverse is not just a place. The metaverse is more of a space. Now, the reason why they call it a metaverse is because previously, when we had Second Life and other virtual worlds, if you earned money in virtual life, Second Life, it stayed there, right? Unless you knew somebody else that was in Second Life, your money doesn't really mean anything, and it cannot translate into the real world. That was before. But now, if you are working in the metaverse, you will be earning cryptocurrency, and that cryptocurrency you can convert into USD in 30 seconds, 1 minute, depending. You can buy something in the metaverse and pay for it from funds that you have in the real world. So now what we have is not just a virtual world, we have a social economy that people are actually living there, people are working there, people are renting their properties out in the metaverse and they are earning in dollars. They earn in cryptocurrency and they convert it to US dollars. So this becomes pertinent. It's not just a virtual world anymore. It's a social economy. The only thing is that it has different layers. So, for instance, you can access it in 2D, you can access it in 3D via VR headsets or AR headsets, you know. So it's quite different now from how it used to be, and that's what's special about the metaverse. So now, when a person commits crime in that space, they can actually move those funds into the real world, unlike previously where it would stay there. Okay? And then again, if you've tried being in an immersive space, if somebody hits you, you will feel like the person really hits you. I mean, you at least step back. It will be like there will be an interaction. If you've tried a VR headset before, it's not like before that it was 2D and you couldn't really interact with the person. Now it's more immersive. So now all of these things begin to, play in the real world. The VR headsets, it can measure your eye movement. It can tell your surroundings around you. If your light is off, it will tell you your light is off. You should switch your lights on. Do you understand? So things like this never used to happen before. So that's why the metaverse now is a space that you can't just get away with crime. It's not like a video game that you kill someone, Mortal Kombat, and then that's it. There's actually a real person on the other side. That's another thing. Then the last aspect is that there's also digital identity. So the ID that you have could be married to the ID you have in the physical world. So there's an issue there. We can't just ignore that. So regulation needs to come into play where, is it one user, one physical person for one virtual person, or whatever virtual person that I have or virtual people that I have now need to be registered or tracked. There has to be some kind of regulation because of all of these factors, that come into play. So it's very important.
Thank you very much, Madam Buki. Sorry, I know we have much more questions, but unfortunately, we've been informed that we've overstayed our welcome. So it's actually been a very pleasant session, and we really appreciate your listening and participation. Thank you very much, Nico and Sarah, for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Davison.
Thank you for having us. And we hope to see you in Dubai, all of you, at some point.
Definitely. Yes. And thank you, Mrs. Buki. Mr. Chita said no final words, so we draw the curtain at this point. Thank you.
Don't commit crime in the metaverse. That's my final.
Thank you so much. Thank you. A round of applause for them as they go. Remember, don't commit crime on the metaverse. That's the takeaway word. Lawyers can talk, eh? Jehovah. This is not courtroom, Oga. Argument. Hey. Thank you, Shay. They just want to find a way to put. Can we have some entertainment here, please? Entertainment time. Please play me the white beat video, please. White beat video promo, please. Can you play it? They sent in a flash drive. Can you play that video? You need to play that video over and over again. Please play it from your system, please. Can it be done now? So remember, we have a metaverse experience room. You can go there and don't commit crime. Okay? I don't try to use your avatar to hug somebody that doesn't want you to hug you. You know, there are a whole lot of things people do, you know, in metaverse. There's something I was expecting Buki to say is behind every avatar is a real human being. And that's why that guy's question, as per game and comparison, is completely off. So every avatar is a human being. Please, can we have the video? Please give it volume, good volume. Shout out to White Beach, making it possible to gather here and talk like this. Please shout out to White Beach. The audio is not very good, please. All right, thank you so much, White Beat. Maybe you need to do something about the audio. It's not. There should be a better better audio on that. Please, we want to have some entertainment at this time. We have several music artists that are here that will give us some performances. It's S Squad in the building. It's S Squad in the building. S Squad in the building, please come here. Give a shout out for S Squad. A shout out for S Squad. Check. A shout out for S Squad. Keep shouting until they get on the stage. Give a shout out to S Squad.
Thank you. Sure. We are here in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Because with God, all things are possible. Without God, nothing can be possible. We thank God to be here today, and we thank God for making it possible. Make me remember those days of Balende. Some people say we no go ever make out. Baba God, we thank you for the mercy. Our life has turned to joy every day and night. The kind of life we live in now, we live in so rush. Now everybody wanna know about us. We heard the story every day, we're looking for money. Now money, money, money just to find us. How many days we gonna live our life struggling on the streets? How many days we gonna live our life searching for a way to eat? We gotta stay down just to see a better day. Stay down just to live a better way. Stay down just to see a better day. Stay down just to live a better way.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. If you know, you appreciate Baba God for bringing us together right here and celebrate with blockchain. I want everybody to stand on your feet if you know you are not bigger than God, and give a round of applause to Almighty God. If you know you are not bigger than God, stand on your feet and give Almighty God a round of applause. You know, easy. Shout to NFT. Now, so we UGN for this one. I think I'm the shooter. We see you, boss. God bless everybody that turned up today. Let's go. Today we are not only here. How many days to hold it? We also have a single track to drop right here. Special lady. Show them that shit, man. That's how we shout for the beautiful sexy ladies in the building. We are top on. Let's go. Are you ready for me? Drop it. Export YouTube. To the J-Town. Ain't going to YouTube. From the beginning. How many? Loud it. How many days? Days we gonna live our life. Nice. How many
many days we gotta live our life, searching for a way to eat. Come on, stand down, stand down. Cool, stand down, stand down. Cool, stand down, stand down. Stand down, stand down. If it's here, we don't go make up now what they're playing you to talk to. Enemies, they're holding and their holdings also crush you. Here, you are on the railway. Stand down, stand down. Otherwise, I was waiting for the crush you. Fire on the mountain, we are on the mountain. If you wanna see a better day, make you know the brush, so you wanna crush one to the stone for a brother man. Like looking clock, you better take a tete. Do not take you sooner, do not take a tete. Maria, Allah, wallahi, Babu Shaka. Like you want to the yard, you are Sharia. Now she's the people, take it or you leave it. We're also in the day and the night for the living. Every year, man, I walk on the street. Every year, searching for what to eat. Every year, gonna live our life. How many days we gotta live our life? Stay down, stay down. Just to see a better day. Stay down, just to live a better way. Stay down, just to see a better day. Stay down, just to live a better way. When I wake up in the morning, down on my knees, when I ask Papa God, make Him bless my way. Enemies, gonna try you. You can only be there. I'm a boy, I'm a power share. No power pay. Man, I saw man, I was one of them with vision for money, on my mouth. When I die, when you die, you come in for the money. And you talk about vanity and getting ability. Papa God, number one, too much for the plate. Senegal, America, down to the area. Everybody go. And squad, we are from the street, looking for the money, day and night, we bring this back together. How many days you gotta live our life? Come on, sit down, just to see just to live the better way. Sit down, just to see the better day. Sit down, just to live the better way. Life is not easy. We gon' make it simple for ourselves and the people. We're down with the player hands, stand for the trouble. We're living good life. Big streets are the simple. Our family are friends, so suppose not the bumble. Back up, police you. X-Squad, you too. Shout out to the Decentralized Justice, you too. I'm on here with you, even our ways of future. Forget about the past, right? Never remember those days of our living day. Some people say we don't ever take on. Papa God, we thank you for the best in you. Our life has got to story every day and night. I don't know we live in, I will live so long. Now everybody wanna know about us. You know the story every day we're looking for money. Now money doesn't find us. How many days we gonna live your life? How many days we gonna live our life? Struggling or eating. Stay down, just to see a better day. Stay down, just to live a better way. Just to live a better day. How many days we gonna live our life? How many days we gonna live our life? Searching for a way to eat. Stay down, just to live a better day. Stay down, just to see a better day. Are you ready? Let's go. Sexy lady, what time? Sexy mama. Sexy lady, what time? You don't cook for your husband. What time? You don't cook for your boyfriend. What to say? Sexy mama. What? Sexy lady, come on, cook for your husband. You don't cook for your boyfriend. Hey! Only. Hey, this is a new single. Let's go. It's here. Every minute, every second, every day of my life, I'm liking this shit like I get back your heart. I got so many dick down to make it what I can see that they get what I choose to. When I you in my mind, cause you be my special. Hello, mama, Caesar. Nice to meet ya. I can be your misa. Like I feel like I will feel like at least. Sweet baby gaga. Follow me.
follow me there for what's a bam, I like it when you walk it, twerk it, break it. You see how it goes. Anita, Sekina, Vanessa, when it does station, the station breaks it. We will give me teacher. We will give me teacher. We will give me teacher. What done? Anita, Sekina, Vanessa, I need that station, the station breaks it. We will give me teacher. We will give me teacher. We will give me teacher. My lady, give me teacher. When they kill my keeper, she give me teacher. When they kill my keeper, what time? My sexy lady, beautiful woman. My sexy baby, you know what to do. I'm falling in love with the way you run. I'm falling with the way you ride and go. Watch it. Take that guy. Take body love. Shadow. I need that special lady, special flexi. They will give me teacher. She give me teacher. They will give me teacher. My lady, Anita, Sikia, Vanessa. I like special lady, special flexi. They will give me teacher. She give me teacher. They will give me teacher. My lady, so to that day, yes, so it's a man in the building, yeah. What time? Yeah. Let's go. What to say? Yeah. BNUG. Are you ready for this one? Let's go down. Hold it. All my sexy ladies. Let's step on the segment. Are you? Bigger. Hold it.
How many days we gonna live on?
Hold it. Sexy lady. Sexy mama. Sexy lady. You don't cook for your husband. You don't cook for your. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. X1 is here. Hey. Standing 9. Oh shit. Oh shit. One time. Let's go. Oh shit. What you say? Watch out. Oh shit. Mr. Caesar. Sexy lady. Sexy mama. What you say? Sexy lady. Are you ready? Cook for your husband. Yeah, cook for your wife. What up? Sexy mama. You don't cook for your husband. Let's go. You don't cook for your boyfriend. Go down. Watch out. Hold it. Watch out. Go down. What you say? Go down. Let's go. Sexy ladies. Sexy mama. I become a woman. I become a mother. Why you do me like this? Why you do me like that? Why you break my heart? You make me maga. I swear I'm tired. Come and set you fire. All I need is water. Sexy lady. Sexy mama. Sexy lady. Come on, cook for your husband. Yeah, cook for your boyfriend. Sexy mama. You don't cook for your husband. What you say? Cook for your boyfriend. Go down. Yeah. Go down. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. What you say? What you say? What say? Mr. Chusa, what you say? What you say? What's your sexy mama? Sexy mama. Sexy lady. Come on, cook for your husband. You don't cook for your boyfriend. Sexy mama. You don't cook for your husband. You don't cook for your boyfriend. That's nice. What's your here? What's your this one here? It's your mama, your collect. What's your oh shit. Let's go. Oh shit. Thank you very much. God bless everybody. God bless you. God bless. Special lady for ENUG. God bless Blockchain NFT. This one dropping now. Let's go. This is a shooter. It's twice here. God bless everybody. Forward ever, backward never. Anything you lay your hands shall prosper. Thank you.
Put your hands together for square.
Mr. Shooter.
Square.
Thank you.
Amaka, are you ready? Amaka, are you ready? We have another song coming up shortly by a wonderful lady. Please, can you take the stage? Do you have her song? Hello? This is the best for her to use.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm actually doing a cover, Asha Jailer. So if the sound guy can play it, I'd be very grateful. No, 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 no. Ooh, yeah. I'm in chains, you're in chains too. I wear uniforms and you wear uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, you're a prisoner too, Mr. Jailer. Oh, I have cares, you have cares too. I'll fly, but you self will fly too. Life is beautiful, don't you think so too, Mr. Jailer? I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer, man. You suppress all my strategies. You oppress, every part of me. So you treat me like a mighty slave, Mr. Jailer. Oh, you don't care about my point of view. You don't care, I'd rather will die for you. So you treat me like a mighty slave, Mr. Jailer. I'm talking to you, Jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let he who is without sin be the first to cast the stone, Mr. Jailer. Mr. Jailer, man. Ooh, Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You see, if you're walking in the marketplace, don't throw stones. If you do, you just might hurt one of your own. Life is not about your policies all the time, so you better rearrange your philosophy. Have a good day, you better make changes. I'm talking to you, jailer. That evil is without sin. Be the first to cast a stone. Mr. Jailer, jailer. I'm talking to you, jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. That evil is without sin. Be the first to cast a stone. Mr. Jailer. Oh, I hear my baby say, I want to be president. I want your money for my government. What he can know, what he won't know, what he don't know. Jailer, jailer. Oh, somebody be good, oh, be good, oh, be good, oh. Oh, be good, oh, be good, oh, be good. Oh, be good, oh, be good, oh, be good, oh. Oh, jailer, jailer. Oh, somebody be good, oh. Thank you. So, yeah, this song is by Jill Scott. It's called Golden. Whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Who wants their life to be golden? Come on, if you know the song. I'm taking my own freedom, putting it off the chain, putting it on the shelf, putting it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go. It would take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden. 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 Oh, living my life like it's living my life like it's living my life like it's golden. Listen, taking my own freedom, putting it in a song, singing loud and strong. Moving all day long, I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be high stepping, y'all, better than joy and fall. I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 it's golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, it's golden, it's golden, golden, yeah. Oh, you can't take it from me. Oh, living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Oh, I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Oh, golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, golden. Break it down, break it down, break it down, golden. Living my life like it's golden, golden. It's golden, it's golden, it's golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, golden, it's golden, it's golden. And I wish the same for you too. Everybody in this room, I wish your life will shine like the stars. Live your life like it's golden because you deserve it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for her. Thank you so much, Amaka. God bless you. Thank you for blessing us. We want to have some messages from our sponsors. Can we give a shout out to Wbt? Woo! Wbt making it possible. A shout out for this space. Woo! This space making it happen. A shout out for Beat Mama. Beat Mama making it happen. A shout out for Decentralized. Deftify making it happen yonder and yonder. We want to take a presentation from Wbt. By the way, Wbt has a bar downstairs on the ground floor, and they are ready to serve you any kind of drink that you want. Just plan to branch at the Wbt bar downstairs. Have you downloaded the Wbt app? How many of you downloaded the Wbt app? Download the web. I think there's supposed to be a giveaway, right? Yeah, I remember the other time we got some stuff, you know. Download the Wbt app. Now, are you ready with the Wbt presentation? Where is Hills? Please, can you project the Wbt slide on the projector for him to take? Please, this space and the rest of our sponsors, be ready to sell your market, please. Please get ready to sell your market now, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can I get a response? Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. All right, thank you. Media, please. Let's get the slide. Okay, just like Mr. Chita said, we have our bar downstairs. While he was talking, someone at the extreme just said whether it's for free, whether the drink is for free. It's absolutely free. Free. Once you are done, just make sure you get down, get a cup of drink, a glass of juice, or whatever you want to take before you go. All right, thank you very much. I'm waiting for the media. Okay, so I want to tell us a very important, share a very important opportunity with us about Wbt. My name is Emeka Stanley Hills. I'm the operations specialist of the Nigerian team in Wbt. So Wbt is the biggest European crypto to fiat exchange. Actually, we are the biggest in Europe at the moment. Wbt is a global brand, and Wbt is the biggest in Europe. And we have our mission is to create a secure, we created a secure, transparent, and user-friendly platform to achieve an organic distribution of blockchain technologies and innovative solutions in the field of digital finance. What we are saying is that we believe in massive adoption of crypto and blockchain technology, and that is what Wbt is driving. And to achieve that, we have to create a secure exchange and user-friendly platform to achieve that. Now, we have our license. We have licensed. We are registered as a virtual currency exchange operator and deposit virtual currency wallet operator in the European Union. Please, let's go to the next slide. All right, so these are our numbers. Currently, Wbt is in about 150 countries, operating in 150 countries, and we're about 4 years in the market. We've been in existence since 2018. Okay, we have up to 400 plus trading pairs on our exchange, and we have 30 pairs with national currencies. Okay, we have 3 million registered users at the moment, plus actually over 3 million registered users. We have 1 million active users, then 10 million unique visits. Now, currently, the Wbt team has over 600 professionals. 200 of them, we have about 200 or more developers, blockchain developers. That's to say that the platform is very, very secure because we have strong developing team. All right, so we have about $2.5 billion as our average daily trading volume. Okay, we are one of the top 30 cryptocurrency exchanges on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Now we are the top 3 in security because one of the things we preach in Wbt, our platform is one of the most secure platform because that's one of our selling points, where you know that you can put your money, put your crypto, and it's safe. At least it is safe. One of the top 3, okay, when it comes to security as regards cryptocurrencies. All right, next slide, please. Okay, this is our distribution. Like I said, much of our clientele is in the EU, Europe. 60% of our customers, our clients are there. Then we have 10% in South America, we have 22% in Asia. Then we have 2% in Africa. That's to say that we are just stepping into Africa and Nigeria. And when you are part of the people that begin a process, begin an opportunity, of course, you know what it means. So what we are doing now is that we are navigating into Africa through Nigeria. Nigeria is our head office. We have an office now in Nigeria. At least one of those global brands that have a physical presence in Nigeria. Our office is here in Nigeria. We are open to negotiations, discussion, partnerships, anytime, any day. Now we have just 2%, and that number is growing with massive speed. By the end of the year, we hope to grow immediately, very, very fast, and with high speed. All right, next slide. Okay, on our platform we have several languages. We have English, Spanish, German, because we want cryptocurrency to get to the grassroots so that everybody and anybody can actually understand cryptocurrency and understand the blockchain technology. When it comes to Nigeria, we have plans to work with community heads and break down this message of crypto into several local languages. We have a robust support team, okay, that has understanding of several languages. What we are looking at bringing this message down with Igbo language, Hausa language, Yoruba. Want our mothers, our fathers to understand this crypto because, of course, you know that DeFi is the future of finance, right? And we are moving with high speed, so we need to carry everybody along. That's why we have several languages, and we still include other languages on our platform. All right, next slide, please. Okay, that's our ecosystem. Now, like I told us, Wybit is actually a global brand. For now, some of these products are not yet in Nigeria. Number 1 is WhitePay. Now, apart from our exchange platform where we have transactions, we have the trading, the score, the margin, and the rest of them, we have other products. This WhitePay, we saw it in our video. It's like a POS system where people can come. You have merchants where you acquire this POS, like you have the OPay POS. Now, you acquire the POS is for crypto. As a merchant, you have your shop. People come with their cards, okay, linked to the Wybit wallet. They come there to withdraw money. So that means that they will have to send their crypto to you through their cards with the machine, receive their crypto, and then give them money. Now, if they want to take money, they want to buy crypto, they will bring their card and you send them crypto while they give you money. Now, that transaction they want to do, that the app and the device already in existence abroad, but we hope to bring it into Nigeria as fast as possible and begin to drive its adoption so that people can have easy access in accessing their money and their cryptocurrencies through Wybit. All right, we'll have the WhiteX, WhiteSwap, and the rest of them. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yeah, next slide, next slide. All right, so this is our functionality. Now, Wybit to have the spot trading, margin trading, and the margin trading you have up to 20 times leverage. Okay, we have the futures. Okay, of course, some of us, you already know what spot trading is. That's what majority of Nigerians do, buying crypto when it is cheap and selling when it is high. But there is also another one called margin trading and futures trading. But I want to advise us, before you step into margin trading or futures, make sure you have the right knowledge. And that will bring you to the point of our interest in education. That's one of our big selling points, education. I will come to that shortly. But before I go into that, we have our coin, WBT. That's part of the major thing I want to talk about today. WBT. Now, Wybit has been in existence for 4 years, but we are just launching our coin. Now, our ecosystem, we don't believe in just doing what other people are doing. We believe in gaining the adoption, gaining the integrity and trust, gaining the trust of our clients, and before we begin to dish out our products to them. So this WBT, it was launched last month at just $1.9. But as I'm talking to you now, it has risen to about 5 point something dollars. But just within the last 24 hours, if you check your trading view or you check the market, find out that WBT made about 50% increase, 50% increase from about 3 point something dollars to currently $5.9 thereabouts. Which means that if you are opportuned, just like we know some other exchanges, some other coins like Bitcoin, for instance, Ethereum, most of us are regretting that we did not come into the ecosystem when we knew about it. Personally, I knew about Bitcoin way back as I think 2016. And some of us even knew about it before then. But we didn't take up that advantage. We were asking several questions and doubting and the rest of them. But thank God, with what people like our host here, Mr. Chuta, is doing, the education, the events, we are getting to know more about crypto. So if you can step into it, and of course, before you embrace any project, you must make sure that it has quality utility and you understand the project very well. Now, WBT has a massive utility because that is what Wybit is. That's our token, our native token. So every other thing around our exchange is done with WBT. So you are very, very sure that the WBT token will increase with speed. Currently, we have $5.9 for one WBT. And let me also say that, like Mr. Tita said, we'll be running a lottery. We'll be doing lottery in this event, and we'll be giving out WBT. Please, can you clap for YB, please? Can you clap for YB? Can you clap for YB? No, you didn't understand me. I said, the winners of this lottery will go home with 20 WBT each. Now look at it. The last event we had, we gave out USDT. But this time around, we're giving out WBT. Because we'll give it to you at this amount. It is 5.9 for round. You can choose to hold it and it will increase with speed. I mean with massive speed. You can choose to sell and take your money. So it's a win-win thing. Alright, so we have the P2P and then it's smart staking. Before I leave this slide, it's smart staking. Now, apart from the transactions, the trading, the spot, the margin, the futures, Wybit has a feature called smart staking. In smart staking, you can invest your money, all right? You can get crypto, buy USDT, invest it with Wybit, and in a couple of months, 1 year, you have 30% APR on your investment, all right? A whooping 30%. Now, Wybit is open to partnerships. Some of us here, we are from some local exchanges, all right? So, and we also do stuff like this, smart staking. You can partner with Wybit, get 30%, and probably give your clients, before you do give 10% or 8%, you can comfortably do 15%, and you are making more money for yourself, while you're also investing in Wybit and doing profitable partnership with Wybit. Now, I will not have time to go into it, but if you understand dollar cost averaging, all right? Dollar cost averaging is where you share your risk. You don't just buy. For instance, you have a capital of, let's say, $5,000. You want to buy crypto. You don't just move into the market and buy BTC or WBT worth $5,000. You spread it. You buy at every interval, like every month, you buy some portion and keep them. Now, at the end of the year, when you sell, you end up making more money. Now, imagine if you combine dollar cost averaging with smart staking. You are buying WBT or USDT or any coin and also staking them at the same time. You are taking advantage of the market price and also advantage of the interest on WBT, on smart staking. Now, if you understand what I'm talking about, you find out that you don't have any fear. There are several alternatives to make money on cryptocurrency trading, store your money, preserve the value of your money. Thank you. Next slide, please. All right, so this is the YB token I earlier mentioned. So we have about 400 million WBT currently in circulation. And we plan to be doing some burnings to increase and sustain the value. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so we have benefits of holding WBT. All right, so we have daily free withdrawals of every coin on the Ethereum ecosystem. All right, so when you have WBT in your wallet, if you make withdrawals, one Bitcoin is on ERC20 network, you will get to do those withdrawals for free. Now, on our platform, we have referral packages. When you join Wybit, you have referral link. When you invite your friends through your link, you find out that you'll be making 40% of the transaction fees charged on their transaction. What that means is that for lifetime, your referrals, as they keep transacting on Wybit will be charging just 0.1%, okay, on the transaction. You that referred them, you're making 40% normally. But if you have WBT, you hold WBT in your wallet, you will get increased referral bonuses, about 45 or 50%, as the case may be. Now, you also have discounts on your own trading fees. As you trade, you have discount because you have WBT. What we are saying is that before you leave this place, make sure you can see our posters around, or you get down to our stand, you can scan our QR code, get registered, download the app, of course it's free, and begin your journey. You can just maybe buy fill of WBT and begin your journey. Thank you. All right, next slide. Okay, like I've mentioned before, the Wybit has an AAA rating and is among the top 3 safest crypto exchanges according to CNETv, and the top 2 most secure exchanges in the world based on independent hacking unit audit. Sorry. So what that means, like I said, we are very secure. It's a very secure platform that will be seen from the number of trade pairs we have. We are not so quick to list tokens on our platform. We are not just scouting for tokens to list. We must make sure we do our comparative analysis, study, do KYC on the token before we list. Want to win the trust of our clients. In Nigeria, a lot of us have our fingers burnt already because of scandalous tokens. So want to create a situation whereby once you hear that there is a token listed on Wybit, across your mind, you know that the token is genuine, is legit. So that's why Wybit is not so much eager to list coins without doing an understudy on the token. Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so for now we have these are the fiat currencies we have on our platform, and we hope to add more, including Nigerian naira. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide. All right, so before I end, these are the Wybit advantages. We have 0.1% trading fee. That's one of the cheapest trading fees you can get. And of course, the WBT, the unique tool for effective passive income on cryptocurrency. I mean, if you had WBT 2 days ago at about $3, now it has grown to almost 100%, about 50% now. You are making passive income for yourself. I mean, that's the best way to save money, all right, and protect the value. Okay, so we have margin and futures trading that is up to, you can use up to 20x leverage. All that means is that you want to trade on margin or futures and you have, let's say, $1,000 or $1,000 as your capital. You can do 10x leverage, and any profit you're making will multiply by 10. And of course, any loss you're making will multiply by what? By 10. That is why I will say on this note that we are rolling out our Wybit Masterclass. Everybody that is in this training, once we roll out our Masterclass, we'll send a direct message to you. You hear from us, so that we want to train people across Nigeria, across campuses, to understand how cryptocurrencies work, so that you not be among those people saying this thing is scam because you don't understand how it works. So that is that for our education system. Now we have DEX and P2P platform as well. Now we have one of the most convenient apps with full functionality for 24/7 trading. Of course, some of us that are into futures trading, you know that trading, you have high profit of trading inside the midnight. Let's say 1 a.m., 2 a.m. That's where you enter. You can catch a trend before it begins to rise. Let me not go into trading in details. But how many of us here do futures trading? How many of us do futures trading, please? Futures traders in the house, can you say hello? Can you say hi? Hi! Yeah, that's where the money is, if you know how it works. So if you want to know how it works, sign up on our education platform and we'll carry you through and teach you how it works. All right, next slide. Okay, so we have some state partnership. Now, White is actually Ukrainian, okay, although currently we've moved from Ukraine at the head of our headquarters, we have moved, all right, to Spain. Okay, we have some partnership with Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine. I will have partnership with Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine. What we are doing with them is that we are raising money. We are initiating fundraising systems and also partnering with other fundraising systems to raise money to support Ukraine, support both the soldiers and the citizens that have been impoverished because of the invasion of war. And okay, next slide. Next slide. There's a figure on the next slide I want to mention. Next slide, please. Okay. I wanted to say that we've been able to raise about $900,000, as relief fund for the soldiers in Ukraine and the citizens. Please, can we just clap for Wbt? Can we clap for Wbt, please? Yes, that's humanitarian service. And like I told us, we are just moving into Nigeria now. Someone asked me 2 days ago, he said, is Wbt open for humanitarian activities? I mean CSR. We are very, very open. Very, very open. We have an office here in VI, Lagos. If you have any proposal, any project, we can work with you once it tickles our fancy, okay, and to help us achieve our goals. We are open for such humanitarian services. We have Nigeria at heart, Africa at heart as well. Of course, if you go down, you see our team, Nigerian team, a company that comes from abroad and employs Nigerians as their team members. Of course, you should know that they have our good at heart. So we have some collaborations right now: Monobank, Lifecell, Faceit. I'll have other ones that are not on this list. And you'll be hearing much more from us. We have some some hard job-breaking collaborations that are coming on board with Nigerian brands, Nigerian organizations that you will hear very soon. All right, next slide, please. Okay, I've mentioned this already, our humanitarian efforts. We're doing a whole lot in reaching out to the general populace of our countries, okay? And we have great plans for Nigeria. All right. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so these are our offices. I'll be ending with this. So we have office in Lithuania, we have Turkey, we have Spain, Australia, Georgia. We have in other places not listed here, and then we have Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, so feel free to join us on our slide and our exhibition booth, ask questions. Feel free to walk into our office. We run our office from 8 to 5. Monday to Friday, and you can ask all your questions, and we are there to answer you and network with you. Thank you very much. I remain Emeka Stanley Hills. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Put your hands together again for Wbt. Are we ready with this space? Are you ready with this space? Please quickly. We just have 10 minutes to run through your presentation or less. After that, we'll have someone from Deftify, and then we'll have Beat Mama. Big shout out to all our sponsors again. Please put your hands together for them. They're making it happen for us. Please, can we have this space slide?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I know that it has been quite a hectic day. I looked at the pictures I took earlier before coming for the event, and when I just compared them now, I was like, man, this is serious. So actually, the dance put forward by Escort was really very much necessary, because if you're a newbie in this space, when you start hearing some of these terms, you get bored with them already. And someone came to our stand there, this space, was asking me, how do we make money from this thing? Is that not what a lot of us here are interested in? Okay. So, the Space Protocol basically is a Web3 platform that is bringing solutions revolving around the emerging NFT and DeFi space. Okay. So, before I continue, when the legal personnel were really talking, a lot of persons were saying they were just here to collect their own share. Honestly, it's not like that, because for now, there are a lot of issues surrounding regulations and all of that. Even the ads you put up on Twitter currently, most of them, they don't get to the proposed places, because Twitter will give you some rigorous terms and conditions. What are your legal backings for this product and all of that? So that's by the way. So we need these people. So the space protocol, just as I've said earlier, we are an all-inclusive platforms that is bringing the best from DeFi space and NFT space. So just like people that are students, those that pass through the tertiary institutions, we observe that before you take up your project and all of that, you always have to look at the problems that are prevalent and all of that. So in a like manner, here at the Space Protocol, we've come out to look at the forms of problems that we encounter here with DeFi and NFT issues. So when it comes to DeFi, one of the issues you see is that there are lots and lots of platforms out there. Okay, these platforms for a newbie or even those that are veterans, once you hear of them, most times you might just hear that someone made so money from this platform, so let me go into it. Let me go into it and also get my own money. But at the end, you go there and you get your fingers burnt. So here at the space, we provided first a solution known as the space the swap DEX. So this the swap DEX is a multi-chain DEX system. Here, what we do is quite similar to Pancake Swap, which is one of the leading swaps we have. But the difference here is that for Pancake Swap, when you as an LP provider, that's those that provide liquidity, when you put cash into the system, you get rewarded with 0.17% of swap fees. But for the space currently, we are running a 6-month program where you get the entire 0.3% of this transaction fees. So you get this back to you. Then apart from that, another way to earn is this. If you cannot even provide the liquidity per se, we have unique referral systems that have been embedded into our DApps, whereby once you connect your wallet, you have a unique referral code that you can share to your connects. And once they put out any trading and all of that, you get a certain bonus that comes to you. So that is for that. Then another issue we've noticed within this space again is that illiteracy. Illiteracy is quite so much of an issue. Okay, so at the Space Protocol, we've come up with a program known as the Space University. Here, what we do is we bring out periodic, well-refined topics surrounding the Web3 ecosystem, where you can learn and know how to navigate your way around this entire space. For a beginner, it can be very cumbersome. That's just the truth. So with the Space University, you get to learn and you earn in the process. Talking about earning, how do we do this? Periodically, we hold space events where we give out good incentives. And just last month, we had a particular one on Twitter. We had good number of people in attendance, and the prize pool there was 1,000 USDT for 20 persons. So this is another easy way to do what? To learn and earn at the same time. So you don't just go into a project and probably bring your funds to start experimenting. With the Space Protocol, you also have the opportunity to earn while you are learning from the system. Then going forward, there have been talks about NFTs and all of that. Some of the issues you see currently is the fact that there are a lot of NFT platforms here and there. So what's the solution the Space Protocol is bringing? We are aggregating these NFTs platforms so that your NFTs that you have will not be limited. We had some panelists that made discussions earlier when we were talking about NFTs and all of that. For now, you might see it as just pictures and what have you. It's a whole lot. Okay, the highest NFT that have been sold thus far that one of the panelists made mention of, every day, the first 5,000 days by Bimpo. That NFT was sold for a whooping sum of $69.3 million. My major concern with this NFT is the fact that it was not even sold on a platform that is classified as Web3 platform. It was sold on Christie. That is more like a Web2 platform, although they are trying to go into the blockchain sector now. So now look at how it would have been if something like this was incorporated into any of the leading blockchain and Web3 platforms already. Imagine selling an artwork worth $69.3 million on a Web3 platform already. That would be so much more for adoption and all of that within the space. So for the Space University, we have our NFT lottery part that gives artists the opportunity to put out their artworks there for auctioning and all of this. Apart from that, we also run periodic lottery activities. So going further, at the space protocol as well, we are giving out some rewards at this moment. You just have to walk up to our booth over there, take some little task and all of that, get your unique referral code, and you get rewarded for that. Then going further, if you've gotten this tripod as we speak, you will just see a barcode here where you scan, and you get into our social platforms where you can start interacting with us and see upcoming projects and products that will be launching. For me, I just want to really commend the organizer of this program for putting this forward, but I still want to tell us that we should try and move to the various sponsorship stand. I could remember when we had big carts in Enugu, people were moving around, grabbing lots of the stuffs and all that. So please, kindly move. You can go to the space protocol stand and you equally get a bit of what we have for all of you guys. Then just to add, we are all here to, a lot of people are here to make money, most of us, though people might say it's the technology, but for me as a person, what brought my attention into the space at first was just like, okay, my friend is making good money from here, what's happening? It was after I got involved and saw some stuff that I also started looking at the technology very keenly. So for those that are developers or you have some skill sets, there is this particular program that will be coming up next month, known as the Space Hackathon. What we'll be doing there is that we'll be putting forth challenges, tasks, for people that have some special skill set, be you a developer, UI, UX designer, where you can leverage on and earn from the prize pool that will be put up. So for that prize pool, just a quick one, the prize pool is up to the sum of $10,000. That's currently using the exchange rate of 700 naira to $1. That is worth 7 million and way above that. So you can walk up to the space protocol stand, come there and meet our marketing team and all of that and learn more about what the space protocol is offering. I am Martin Semamu, marketing lead for the space protocol. Thank you very much.
Put your hands together for him again. Okay, all right. So ensure you visit the stand of all our sponsors. You'll be shocked at the things that you can get. You can get free money, you can get swags, t-shirt, tabs, notepads, and so on. Make sure you stop by at their booths. Please, can we have Decentralized here? Are you here? Okay. Decentralized.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Samuel Olapa, the Chief Marketing Officer for Decentralized. Guys. All right. I want to quickly give us some things about our project. But before then, we know that in 2021, that's last year, you will go with me that the way you enter into the market, you can hold any tokens you buy and expecting that you have huge profits. Why? Because of the way the market was, let me put it like that. But presently, in fact, for you to enter into the market, you begin to imagine what token to buy, how long can I hold this token, can I really get profits if I buy this particular token. So we are introducing Decentralized as the first, let me say, the first African project
that's dealing with crypto analysis and also research. Next slide, please. Next slide. All right. So we have three major problems that we have discovered in the markets at the moment. And the first one is we look at the data. Accessing data should be easy for you at a very minimal amount. Like, okay, I want to access a data. I want to access how crypto asset is doing. I should be able to get into a particular tool and have easy access to it, get my analysis, then I'll be able to now make my decision based on the analysis I have made. So the data should be at least you have easy access and at a very low amount to access it. If at all that protocol or that tools is going to be acting for money, if you want to access it, it should be at least you have a little amount of money to be able to access it. You can liken it to Desk2. When you are making use of Desk2, for those of us that are traders, you have the clarity that for you to get an access into analysis of an asset, you will need to pay some amount of money before you can access any tokens. But that's the problem that we have accessed, and we are trying to look at the way whereby anyone can go into the market, access a token at a very minimal amount. The second thing that we look at is there are manipulations in the market. When you look at centralized exchanges, you have them bringing out the volume. They try to use bots to up the volumes. You see the influx of access. You see the outflow of access. You cannot be able to really understand what is actually going. Maybe we are in the bear market or we are in the bull market. You should be able to have a tools that give you a real value of what is going on in the market. And that's the second problem that we have discovered. There are manipulations in the crypto market, and that is what we want to solve in terms of the data that a tool can present to you and make you to be able to actually analyze what's going on in the market. Then the third thing is we look at the whole crypto space, the blockchain. We look at it as there are potentials. There are people rushing into the market. The DeFi platform are increasing day by day. We have NFT coming into the market. We have newbies who want to join in the space. That means we have a huge opportunity in the space. And that shows that there is possibility that in the next 2 years, 3 years, what we are talking about crypto now will be as the market will have grown. We have a large much of I think in present, when you look at the CoinGecko at the moment, we have 900 billions dollar market cap at the moment when you look at the global market. And in the next 2 or 3 years, or let me say in 2017, we are projecting that maybe we may experience like even over like maybe like 5 billion market. So that means there are potentials, there are business owners, there are investors that want to go into the market. We should be able to have tools that give us the analytic of what is going on in the market, give you the overview of the DeFi protocol, the blockchain, the transactions, and market cap of what is going on in the market. Next slide, please. Next slide. All right. So I'm introducing to you our project. We have 6 major products we are presenting. The first one is the DeFi Analytic. We have platform different, like I said, we have new projects coming in, releasing their project. They call them staking platform. You have the yield farming platform. They are coming into the space. And you will tell yourself, is it a project to really invest into? Okay, we have several DeFi platforms in place. You should be able to look at the trend, what has happened to that project, what had happened to their tokens. So we have a DeFi analytic that give you overview of what is happening in DeFi protocol in general. You can analyze and look at the project to really go for, to invest into. Also, we have NFT analytics. Will be the first project that is releasing NFT analytic. Even DevTool is only focusing on the fungible tokens. They focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum. Those are the things, those are the assets they analyze, which is the DeFi aspect. But we are coming into the space by releasing a DeFi and also the NFT analysis, meaning that you have your OpenSea, we have all those marketplace, bringing them, we analyze them, we collate whatsoever that is going on within the NFT space, we analyze it and present it in one shop for you to be able to know what is going on in NFT marketplace. You'll be able to determine which NFTs, which platform can I really invest my money into. So we have the DeFi and the NFT analytic together in one hub. Okay, we also have the crypto research tools. Crypto research tools give you an overview of what is happening to different projects, different tokens, different, we look at the trends and we match it up with the current state of what is going on the market. Then you can now make your decision on what to go after. So there are tools that are already giving you a crypto research based on what is happening, but none of them can give you the NFT analytic together with the DeFi analytic as a solution. The third thing we look at, the fourth thing is the on-chain peer explorer. Like I explained earlier, when you look at what is going on the market in exchanges, take for example Binance, you can go into Binance and look at what is going on in how market is doing as far as Bitcoin is concerned. You see the inflow, you see the outflow. You now want to use it to now determine, okay, let me enter because of, okay, I think it's right time for me to go in, looking at the inflow of the money. But you cannot determine what is going on by what you see in exchanges, in decentralized exchanges. That means you need something. You need a tools that will analyze what has happened in the blockchain itself, the transaction that has been carried out, recorded. So that is what the on-chain peers explorer is all about. So we talk about the exchange inflow, and also we talk about the dominance. Before you can determine where to invest in, you look at the dominance of what is happening in the market. We talk about the USDT dominance, you talk about the Bitcoin dominance, you talk about Ethereum dominance as a smart contract. When you look at all these things together, you have the tools that will help you analyze what is happening on chain and be able to now make your decision based on the data you have. Then we have the launchpad aspect of the project. The launchpad of the project, I may not be able to talk about it now because that's not what we look on. That's not what we are looking at the moment, looking at the market situation. Then we have the blockchain gaming service. That is the 6 solutions we are bringing into the space, and we'll be the first African project that is doing that. Please, next slide. All right. So we have the crypto research tools, like I've explained. We have the crypto asset screener, business data, portfolio tracker, and correction modules. Next slide, please. All right, I've explained this. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. All right, so this is where I'm going to end the presentation. We have the comparison between the present tools that traders are making use of, the desk tool, the chain analysis, and the rest. But you can see the DevTool. What we present to you, we have Like I said, we have the DeFi, we have the NFT together, and also we have the on-chain peer explorer, we have off-chain data comparison, we have blockchain as a service, we have incentive to stake tokens, and also we have the launch pad. Next month, we are releasing our MVP because we are not yet launched. We are releasing our MVP, which I would love you guys to help us and test it and look at what we have for you guys. So you can just log on to deptify.io, subscribe, and follow our newsline so that you can be ready for what we are presenting to the space as a trader, as a crypto investors. These are the tools that will make you to make decision anytime, any day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. May we clap for Neptify. That was a very wonderful delivery. So the next is Beat Mama. Beat Mama, are you ready? Beat Mama, are you ready? Okay.
Oh, sure. I think they have it there. Yeah, hello everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Brian. I'm the head of Beats Mama. And I know we've had a very long day, and I don't want to waste any more of your time. So I'll just keep it real short and simple. But Beat Mama is an exchange. We're based in Nigeria. We have customers in Ghana, we have customers in Kenya, and we're also penetrating other African markets. So, but our value offering is different. So yeah, you can buy crypto on our exchange, you can sell, P2P is free, and all of that. You can also stake, because I know you've had a very long day, and some of you want to really go and have lunch and get on the rest of the day. So I'll just go straight to our value offering. Okay, so for us, we believe that crypto is a lifestyle, you see, and we have a very serious challenge in Nigeria. We have a payment challenge, especially international payment. So we have lots of, that's why we have lots of innovators. They're doing so many things to help us dodge, or not help us, to help us escape the borders of regulations. We're in a country where innovators are fighting with regulators every day. So currently we have a $20 monthly spending limit, and for some of us that need to pay for developers here that need to pay for AWS, for designers that need to pay for Adobe, for people that want to pay for Apple Music, or even people that want to Japan, they're trying to pay for tuition abroad. We have a simple problem. We cannot make such payments with our Naira cards. It's a popular thing. Everybody knows that. So for us, we offer a very unique solution. We have what we call crypto cards. Okay, you see, you don't have to, for us, you don't have to convert your USDT to fiat or do P2P to get Naira to make payments. So all you have to do is that you can spend directly from your crypto wallet with your Bitmama crypto card. That's our value offering, you see. So all you have to do is you fund your crypto, your Bitmama wallet, and then you fund your card, and then with that card, you can make international payments, local payments, anywhere. And yeah, our own monthly limit is $10,000. So you see, that's our value offering. So for other things we have currently going on at Bitmama, we also have our Bitmama Academy, where we believe that we cannot have, a lot of people talk about adoption, but we believe that we cannot have adoption without education. So we have like a Bitmama Academy where we're dedicated in teaching people, onboarding people to the blockchain. And there's a mistake that a lot of people make. And I'm glad that I was listening to the panelists, and we were talking about blockchain, and we were making instances of so many use cases that I found very interesting. So when we talk about blockchain, a lot of people just assume it's Bitcoin, buying, selling, trading. It's not always like that. There's so much more we can do with the blockchain. There's so much development
we can do with it. We can change lives with this industry. So this is a shout out to everyone that is developing, that is building. I'm just going to say that we should focus less on payments and do other stuff. Everybody's doing payments. I'm calling everybody out now. Please don't be angry. You can fight me later, but let's do other stuff apart from payments. We have a very interesting ecosystem here, and I believe that there's so much room. I don't believe that there's competition, because for adoption to improve in this our society, for blockchain adoption to improve, we need as much developers, we need as much people coming into this industry. So for us, our academy is focused on bringing in more people, giving them the proper education. No, the blockchain is not just about Bitcoin or Ethereum or futures trading or NFTs. It's beyond that. There's so many things we can do with the blockchain. So that's what we do at Bitmama Academy. I really don't want to waste much of your time. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. So yeah, we can come to our stand. Yes, you can come to our stand, and then we'll onboard you if you don't have our platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bitmama. Put your hands together for Bitmama. Let me tell you something. Bitmama app is a lifesaver. I'm telling you. There was a time that they used to allow us to do $20 worth of crypto transaction on a local Nigerian MasterCard. Now they don't offer it again. And if you are in the tech industry, every single month you will have obligations to settle in USD. And man, that's how the central bank wanted to underdevelop me until I found Bitmama. Okay? And within a very short time, I was able to load my card, my Bitmama virtual card, load it up, move straight to fund it with USDT, and right there, sitting down on the same chair, I was able to do all my transactions and fulfill all my obligations to my online customers and service providers. So it's a lifesaver. That's a unique use case that I think that most of us should think about. All right, we want to do something that is extremely important to us. We want to appreciate and honor the people that have spoken to us today and give them a little appreciation award as a token of our appreciation, so that when you go home, you keep it on your table and you use it to remember how you came here and impacted our lives, and we gave you something to show our love. It's nothing. We know you guys what, but we just want you to take something from us, at least in exchange to all that you have given to us. Do we have an agreement on that? Please, can we pay attention here? If you are in the exhibition booth, please, can you stop and pay attention to the stage, please? Okay? These people blessed us today, and we need to honor them. Please, can you come to the stage, Mr. Shea? Please, you've always been a fantastic friend, colleague, and, whatever in the ecosystem. Every time we call upon you in Blockchain Nigeria User Group, you're always there. I can't count how many times you have spoken in our events, both big events and small events. You never say no. We want to thank you and present this beautiful award. There's a very fine award that is inside. I want to give it to you. Please, can you come this side so thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do. Keep passionately pounding them. I see those videos when you pound those bank workers and all that. And may God keep blessing you and keep increasing you. Thank you so much. All right, next up, please bring the award for Mr. Kwe Barino. Is a token of appreciation. Kwe Barino is the head of legal at BNUG. I want to say a big thank you for all that you do. Every little thing that you do, I see them, and I really do appreciate all of them. So we want to give you this beautiful award, and we want to use it as a token of our appreciation to you for speaking with us today and speaking in all our conferences, and continue to give us legal advice. If we don't this industry, if we don't carry us go where we don't know. So we give you this and we say thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Bring the next award for Mr. Davison. Mr. Davison, go through. Mr. Davison, please, can you come quickly? Put your hands together for Mr. Davison. Please put your hands together for this big guy. Very big guy. This is the kind of lawyer I like. When you enter court like this, the judge go no say I get money to make case. Thank you so much for all you do, Mr. Davison. I've known you for so long. When we started working at the FINTECH Roadmap Committee of Nigerian Capital Markets, you have always been consistent. Every time we call you, answer. You never say that you can't come. I'm a man of God, right? That's true. So with this token, we want to say a big thank you and appreciation for you. And may God continue to increase you. Thank you so much. All right, thank you. A hand for Mr. Davison. Please, can we have the Hamid's award? Hamid, who is going to do a presentation for us, but he has already shared thoughts during the panel session that shows you what type of stuff he's made of. I know when I started talking to you about this event months ago, I talked to you about holding and hosting something like this, because what we do in the industry is to help people to identify opportunities. And sometimes these opportunities are there, but people don't get to know them. So when we gather people like this, you don't know how many people who will go home from here and they will start thinking about what you spoke to them today. It's words that germinate in humans cause greatness in them. And I know that when you were speaking, those words were entering people's heart. And I know that they will definitely produce great results. So thank you for honoring us today. And we look forward to listening to that presentation from you. All right? So just hang on. You may still do it. I'm just looking at the people that are here. But if tomorrow works for you, I will appreciate so that we can have a bigger class and at a time that people's mind are okay. Because that content, I told you, is awesome. And they need to hear it. So thank you so much again for all that you did for us. Put your hands together for Hamid. Thank you so much. There are other awards, and we want to appreciate our lead sponsor, Wbt. And Dimitri has been my friend for a long time. I think we met in 2018, and we had a nice time. We went out. I didn't know you were going to come back. Please, can you come and let's appreciate you? Let's appreciate you. My heart goes out to your countrymen in Ukraine and what you guys are going through there. You told me that you will overcome, and I'm seeing that you're overcoming now. Okay? So may God continue to help Ukraine to overcome the challenges and for making this conference possible. Without Wbt, we wouldn't have been here today. So we are heavily and deeply appreciative of your partnership to make this possible. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And may God continue to bless you and make Wbt the real solution that you have come to make it be in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. So thank you so much for these awesome sessions today. We have one session that we may not be able to take this evening because I know that there's an extent to which our mind can assimilate things. So we're going to move the crypto panels to tomorrow. Okay, we'll move it to tomorrow. We have 2 big master classes for crypto tomorrow morning. How many of you will be here tomorrow? Can I see your hand? If you'll be here in the morning tomorrow for action-packed sessions, let me see your hand. So we'll move that panel session tomorrow. Okay, because I know that what they will share in that meeting, I don't know, I think Abby has left or something. But Leach is around. Okay, so we'll move it tomorrow. Are you in agreement, Leach? Tomorrow morning, we'll move it to tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on the dot, we'll have that panel session. Now, let me tell you a few things that we'll still do tomorrow. Tomorrow we have blockchain developer workshop. So if you want to learn about some of these opportunities that exist, where you can build some of the metaverses, build some of the decentralized apps, or even build VR applications. When people go to the metaverse and they are using the headset, those are also applications that can be built. I think 3 months ago, I signed up for a course on virtual reality development. And I was amazed at how you could use game engines to build applications that can be launched on VR headsets. Either you build it and you take them to Oculus App Store or any other app stores that are made available to support different headdresses. So opportunities are there. So I want to encourage every one of you tomorrow, if you're interested in web application development or you have an experience in web application development and you want to migrate into Web3, be in the sessions tomorrow for a quick rundown on how to go about that. Then if you're a crypto trader and you are like me, we chop profit backwards, and you want to learn how to start chopping the profit forward, please come and listen. Do you understand me? Come and listen. They were asking the other time if you trade. I know that now. Wow. Please come and learn how the masters used to do it, and that will come up tomorrow. Now there are a few other things that we want to do tomorrow too, and when you come, you get to hear about it. So at this time, we want to gradually wind down today's conference session. And for those of you who are still in the hall, please can you come up here for us to take a group photograph? Please, everyone in the exhibition booth, everyone in the Metaverse Experience Room, anyone that is around, please come to this platform, the podium here, for us to take a group photograph for the first day of our event today before we close. Please come forward, come to where I am, climb up to the stage. Everyone, please come. Yes, the metaverse is still available tomorrow, so even if you couldn't get your own turn today, tomorrow it's still available. You can still experience the metaverse. But come forward, climb up. We always take these group photographs. Every year, we always take this group photograph. Since 2017, we always take group photographs. You can actually sit. If you don't want to come up, you can sit. And all the photographers, please make sure that you are getting everybody. Please come. Chike, are we going to drag you? Leave woman. Come and take picture. Please come to the podium, please. Come up here. Please, the people are bed service. Please come and join us for group photograph. People at Beach Mama, this space. Please join us for this group, all important group photograph, please. It's been a ritual for us. Everyone, if you're outside, you want to join the photograph, please come and join the group photograph, please. Please come, climb up. Yeah, you make me look like a short man. Please come forward. Oga, why are you sitting there? Are you angry with us now? Come and join us now. Hello. Join us. Please take the shots.